By the 19th century, prostitution was a major industry in Victorian Britain, bringing in over £20 million a year. London was known as the horse shop of the world. It's been estimated that a fifth of the female population of London were involved in the profession. Although disapproved of by some, prostitution was not illegal. Xanthi is meeting historian Hallie Rubenhold to find out what life was like for the Victorian prostitute.
Women's work is so poorly paid, you can never support yourself and maybe your 6 children. And so you find yourself in a situation where you quite literally have to exchange sexual favours for food in many cases. And that's what a lot of these women were forced into. Prostitution was rife, and especially in the slums. And Borough actually was one of the worst slums in all of London.
What dangers would have been involved for her if she was doing this on a daily basis?
Well, obviously there were tremendous dangers involved in a life of prostitution. Disease being the foremost among them. People didn't use prophylactics in the same way that we would use them today, and those that they did use, the condoms, tended to be reusable and weren't always the cleanest things. You would wash it and reuse it, and they weren't always the most effective things either.
So taking what we know about the woman where she was buried, a particular female we've been looking at, we know from the skeleton that she had syphilis. Was that a common problem for prostitutes?
It most certainly was, and actually the lowest prostitutes were generally those who had contracted syphilis and they were on the way out.
So she would have been in that very possibly lowest class of prostitutes.
Yes, it's where prostitute meets beggar, basically. So really destitute, and these are the people who generally were found dead the next morning in the alleyways, having frozen or starved or died of whatever illness they were suffering from.